Hello guys, as you can see, this is a very extraordinary video. This is my first time actually experimenting at shooting an auto video log. So let's call it auto vlog. Right now I'm going on a way to work, and in this very short video I'd like to tell you my attitude towards the traffic jams. This being the main reason why I decided to motorcycle. So it's 7 a.m. in the morning. It's getting brighter and brighter. This is the beginning of the rush hour, and the road to work is about 13 to 15 kilometers. And usually if I leave home at 7 o'clock in the morning, it takes me around 40 minutes, okay, which is a lot. But if I left home at 8 o'clock, which is the usual time when people leave work for, leave home for work, then it would have taken me at least 1 hour. So I had to be in my office at 9 o'clock in the morning, but I definitely would be late if I leave home at 8 o'clock. So in order not to take any chances, and just because I learned from my own mistakes in the past, I decided to leave home at 8 in the morning, at 7 o'clock in the morning. Why I'm driving a car today? I wouldn't have driven a car today, but I have to exchange some of the parts, some of the construction materials that I bought for my house renovation. So I have these things with me in my car. Probably during the lunchtime I'll go to the market and have them replace it. I can't carry all this stuff on a motorcycle. This is the reason why I'm driving a car. So this is a typical situation that people usually find themselves in, right? And not only in Kazakhstan but everywhere else in the world. So you're just, go and stop, go and stop, go and stop, this sort of mode. And it really kills, it really frustrates. It not only takes a lot of time, but it consumes fuel, and most importantly, it makes you very, very frustrated with the road, with the traffic and everything. So this is the reason why I decided to motorcycle, because it saves time, it saves fuel, and most importantly, no, not most importantly, it saves your nerve cells. And the last reason, and the most important, it brings joy. It brings just tons of joy, riding a motorcycle. Nothing can be, next to it. So this is the reason why I'm doing this. Now a little bit of bio or data about the city of Almaty and how it relates to traffic. According to official data, the population of Almaty is 1.5 billion people. And according to the traffic police, there are about officially registered 300 or so thousand cars. Can you imagine this? But according to unofficial records, there are actually something like 700,000 cars. Some of them are fully registered in the city, and every day there are lots of cars entering and leaving the city. I mean the people who travel to work from suburbs, from the suburban areas. So there are around 700,000 cars every day on the streets of Almaty. How daunting it can be, just imagine. And of course everyone would be, doing their best, to rush through the traffic in the morning and in the evening. The rush hour, as you've understood now, begins at around 8 o'clock in the morning, and it ends at 10. Speaking of the evening times, it begins at around 5:30, 5, and ends at 7:30. So it's unbelievable, Sometimes, I found myself stuck in traffic for, 2 hours. Okay, actually the record time that I spent in traffic while driving from work to home was 2 hours and 10 minutes. And do you know when it happened? It happened when it first snowed in Almaty. So of course some of the people were caught by surprise when it snowed, and they drove extremely slowly. So I hate that day, and that was probably the last resort. I decided to stop this. So I pulled the trigger and got myself a motorcycle, and I'm happy. I'm happy since then. I don't regret ever, getting a bike and getting away from driving the car in Almaty. Do you know why he's blinking? There is a culture, driving culture, road culture in Almaty. Whenever you do somebody a favor, they usually thank you by blinking their hazard lights. That's exactly what he did at the moment. A nice little thing that you wouldn't really see in other cities of Kazakhstan. But this particular thing is really a feature of driving in Almaty. People are kind. In general, people are kind. But sometimes, of course, as anywhere else, there are some arrogant people, extremely mean, extremely aggressive, and people take things really personal, when you don't give them way or whatever. So there is a changing, it's like one day it's a good thing, another day it's a bad thing, people are like driving depending on their mood. Some of you may wonder what sort of car I'm driving. It's one of the two cars that I have. It's a 1993 BMW E30 chassis. I bought it 3 years ago. Yeah, almost. Well, actually 3 years ago. Yeah, 3.5 years ago. It was imported from Germany to Kazakhstan back in 2010. So I'm really into BMWs. It's an old car, but it's eye-catching. It's a head-turning car because I invested so much time and money and effort into restoring it. And I like driving my car. If it's not the traffic, I would just be happy driving the car. But this traffic, it just destroys. It destroys all your willingness to drive, to enjoy driving, etc. Oh, and guys, just pay attention to the mountains. Just look how amazing they are. In the morning, the city is a bit cleaner than it is in the evenings or during the day. So you get a chance to observe the sunrise, and the beauty of the mountains that are in Almaty. Another thing I'd like to tell you about my attitude towards the traffic in Almaty. One day I got so fed up with this traffic that I decided to note the amount of time that it takes me to get to work on a car, on a public transport, meaning the bus, on a bicycle, and on taking the subway. Yeah, in Almaty we do have a subway, but it doesn't really take, we don't have a station just next to my place where I live. So I just, drove the car to work, and I took note of this time, so which is like 45 minutes on average. Then I cycled to work by bicycle, which is around 35 minutes. I then motorcycled to work, which is like solid 20 to 25 minutes. Then I took a bus. It took me 1.5 hours. Just imagine, take a bus. And then I decided to take one last note of taking a bicycle to the metro station and then catching a metro. So that way it took me 50 minutes. So you see, in all this rating of time, right? The fastest way of getting to work is a motorcycle. The second fastest way is to take a bicycle. The third fastest thing is the car, and then it's just bicycle plus metro. And the last thing is obviously the bus.